Hello and welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Reviews. This time we go to Poland with this somewhat of a newer band with the second album. Now obviously I don't know how to pronounce Polish, so I just go with the regular way of saying it, which is totally wrong. I get it already. Zmarlym. I know it's not gonna sound like that when you actually see it, hear it's pronounced by a Polish one, but hey, we go what we have here, right? So this one is the second album by the very band, and I'll discuss that a little bit later. First, let's take a look at this album packaging, certain kind of unboxing, if you will. And this features kind of a atypical way of, how this album looks like. I certainly, for one, I don't get any kind of a black metal vibe based on the packaging, and I guess that's purely intentional. If I had to guess, I would say this is some modern metal or death metal at best, because everything here is just so unusual for a black metal band. When it comes to the music, however, this is black metal or sort of experimental side of that. Comes with a nice thick booklet with some lyrics. I like the layout, I like the feeling here, but like I said, this isn't exactly giving you the idea what this music is probably like. What struck me when I was, got my attention when I was browsing for the links for the review and all, listening to this, was like themes, pandemic. And I was thinking like how many albums you can write about it. So I tried to click a couple of those album links to find out what the lyrics might be about, and they were in Polish, and figured, okay, my time is very limited. I'm not gonna go for the Google translation tool, so I'll take what is said here and assume it's correct. So in case you want to find out what these pandemic lyrics are and you don't know Polish, you probably need some Google translation, whatever. Found it around 2020 something. We don't have the official founding year, doesn't even matter, because I guess what is enough to know for us is that the first EP came in 2020 and then 2 albums after that. And we're here to talk about the second album, which has 9 tracks, about 46 minutes of music. Now, this is curious because, like I said, you're here to learn that this is some kind of a black metal band that doesn't really look like black metal band, and what is the stuff that you need to know in order to, why it doesn't sound like typical black metal bands. First, get things first. First of all, the basic foundation here is atmospheric black metal. That's kind of a given. I mean, you have the kind of a atmospheric bass all around, then you have the riffs, you have the vocals and all that stuff, which is like, okay, I'm listening to modern black metal. The production is quite good. It's definitely more modern than back in the days kind of stuff. So we're not talking about the first wave, hardly even the second wave. But when you get more deeper into the album here itself, you kind of figure out, is this even second wave or this is more like post black metal, because you have those electronic passages and other ideas which are not so typically connected to black metal. There are lots of parts where you just kind of get this atmospheric modern black metal vibe, but the more and more you run through the course of action, a lot of those ideas, including a cleanish chorus type of vocals, or choir types actually, you kind of get the feeling like if you would separate these from the rest and forget all the black metal parts, this wouldn't sound black metal at all. There are lots of bands where you have kind of best of both worlds. So in these cases, if you would remove the other half, you would get totally different idea. So for instance, if you would just listen to the parts where it gets, say, less black metallic altogether, it kind of sounds like electronic pop music, maybe underground or whatever, but still. And this is important to understand, that this album has these various ideas, so it's not definitely for everyone. I mean, the execution is nice and all, and it's kind of nice that they are somewhat experimental, not afraid to go beyond the typical borders. But at the same time, people who are expecting some kind of a Polish black metal and thinking, okay, is it going to be the next Graveland? Is it going to be the next Mwa? Is it going to be next this and that? I'm like, no, it's not going to sound like Behemoth. It's not going to sound like Graveland. It's not going to sound like those underground black metal bands like Arcona or Deus Mortem or whatever. So it's different, and this going to divide people into different camps. Coming from Gods of War Productions, this is quite an unusual thing because they are so much focused on typical traditional death metal, and when it comes to black metal, I would say still more traditional. So this is kind of unusual take from them. And I'm not saying that this is in a bad way. I'm just saying this is not exactly if you would blindly go based on a label or country and then, okay, this is a black metal one, I'm going to pick it up because it's going to be exactly your cup of tea. It's worthwhile giving a go because I think a lot of these ideas make sense. But also, it, in my opinion, lacks a lot of those memorable parts. I'm not going to even say catchy here because that's probably not where this band is even trying to go to. But I think you need to have you buckled up for atmospheric parts with the pop music parts, the electronic ones, in order to like this. To tolerate it is one thing. To actually like it and love it, that's another thing. Obviously, you will only find out by listening to this one. I'm just gonna say it's not for everybody, but those who do like this kind of a postish black metal kind of a thing, yeah, go for it. Links are included in the description box. Go and hopefully enjoy it.